had the film to be screened right now, which we will do in about 10 minutes more. We'll take 10 more minutes because what you see on the board there are 6 artworks that have been selected from 33 artworks that have been created by the Delhi Collage of Art. They had come and visited the exhibition, and they were given a theme of My Russia, and they have created all these artworks, and we would like to specially recognize these 6 artists who have created these artworks. The rest of the artworks are on the floor below when we will go for our refreshments, good or bad. But there was a thought process that we could only specially mention 6 artists. So Savita, if you could please announce. Thank you so much, Babita. Please. I think there's a gift also from the Russian Center, especially for these. Congratulations, Babita. The next artist is Arisha Azar. Next, Harjas Kaur. Maybe a round of applause would make the artist feel really special. Thank you, Harjas. Congratulations. Next up is Meenakshi Verma. Congratulations, Meenakshi. Next up is Simranjeet Kaur. Congratulations. Next up we have Niyati. We were a little confused with the surname. Is it Dugal? Single. We apologize, I think. Yeah. Niyati Single, please. So the entire exhibition and the project, Russia, an Indian view, is basically about Indians, their perception about what they think about Russia. You don't always have to travel to another country to do that. You read about it, you see about it, and you imbibe things and then you create. And this is what the young artists have done. I would like to thank Delhi Collage of Art especially for making this effort to get the students to respond to such a theme which was not necessarily a part of their course, but everything in life as an artist is something that we can look forward to creating. So, just to have a change of mood before, because I'll take a minute or two to set up the film. We've got an artist who is also a beatboxer, which is also an art form. So he will take it from here, and while he enthralls you with his beatboxing, I'll try and set up the film.
Check, 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 check. Okay, listen up. Trap, on the flow, yeah. Trap on the flow, yeah. Trap on the flow, yeah. Trap, I'm trapped on the flow, yeah. You're listening disturbances. Thank you.
It's a 12-minute film. It's not a long film. Written by me, directed by, and so cast and crew are here. We will have a very short exchange with them also. Please.
Царство потерял.
ओए होए, देख जरा भाई इसकी टांगे देख। ओए होए, ओए बॉल भी देख। ओए अरे भाई उठा ले इसको। अरे मैडम कुछ गिर गया आपका? अरे अरे कुर्सी रह गई मैडम। आय हाय,
वो मेरी कुर्सी है। ये हमारे आपस का मामला है।
आर यू श्योर?
या दैट्स फाइन।
अरे क्या हो इनका यहाँ का रोज का ही?
В тьме пустое привидение. Мне дорого любви моей мучение. Пускай и умру, но пусть умру, любя.
So, after watching such a beautiful film with a very, very sustainable subject, I would first like to ask the writer Akshat Sinha, how did this subject came to your mind, and what made you write it?
So, it's very difficult to identify where an idea germinates from. I mean, I don't know. I won't say that, I was just walking by and suddenly struck me. I don't know. We had planned that we'll make a film. And I think as an artist, deadlines really make you work. So things come to you when you know that there is a deadline and you have to respond. Because otherwise what we do is we allow our general day-to-day life take over and we are not able to respond as much as we would like to. But I'm sure that at the back of my mind, Pushkin's poems were a very, very big and a very important influence. So reading them, and I would read them in Russian. And that's the interesting thing about language. It's not just if you're able to read it, but if you're able to experience it. When you're able to think in the language, then it is a different ball game altogether. You really enjoy it. Because when I was writing the script for this, I wrote a story. I actually did not write a script. I wrote a story. That's what I told my director also, that I'll first write a story, and then if you feel that it is something that you would like to convert into a film, then we'll work on the screenplay. So there are changes from what I had written and then what actually got made.
And that was your initial inspiration for the subject.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I would like to ask the director, Mr. Rani Dwivedi, what translated your idea to actually working on it? Like he just wrote it, but what made you making it?
The thing is, I've been to Russia. I've made short few documentaries over there about the food and culture, the resemblance and the non-resemblance. So after that, somehow I met him and we used to have discussions. And I could still, till today, St. Petersburg is still in my heart, in my head. I could always see moon just next to me whenever I think about St. Petersburg. It's just I can say a mist going around. So when he gave me this idea, I don't know, you people could understand or what. The way we tried to execute it, it's a negative point from where we started. As a maker, as a writer also, whatever, when we make films, this was a very delicate issue we were touching. And somehow to get the message that the language, what language does. So we had discussions over few beers, many times. Then we shifted to vodka, and somehow this came out. And we took the courage, we got the brilliant actors.
So after your discussions, what actually made you attracted to about this subject?
Like I told you, Russia, something is there that is there. If you are there once, in the winters especially, it will haunt you for your whole life. Because somewhere in an artist, there's a hollowness and loneliness. But the music of nature, of your heartbeat is always there. So when I went there, we landed in Moscow and then straight away we took a flight to St. Petersburg. There, whatever happened, then we were coming in a train from St. Petersburg to Moscow. And whoever we met, everybody offered drinks, everybody offered food. And in that journey, train journey, I was handed a pen drive. And I would like to say again, repeat, I've said before, once you get something like this, whatever you have had, drinks or what, it simply evaporates.
So can you say that, did you get the...
No. Let me finish that. And that pen drive, we reached Moscow, and whatever drink we had, 1 or 2 bottles, I must say, it all had vanished. It was some fear was in the heart. Just to like that, if maybe we have done something wrong. We went to the hotel room. Before putting in, there was one guy who had studied in Russia. He had taken me there. He said, okay, fine, whatever will happen, our bags are packed, and then you'll see. And when we put it in, something came, it was in Russian, it was Zerkala. Andrei Tarkovsky, the mirror. And that guy had said, you watch this, you talk like this. And I don't know what, at that time, it is 2.5 hours film. I have seen it many times. Mr. Andrei Tarkovsky is called the poet in cinema. And I can, if I start talking about him, I can take days. Because I have seen all these 7 movies. And even the cinematographer who shot that, he was amazing. And, yeah, please.
Because he's a man of direction and behind the camera, I think, I'm not sure that everybody got exactly what happened. So what happened was, while he was in the train, somebody was sitting with a stranger with whom he was drinking, passed on a pen drive to him in an alien country where he knew very limited people. So when he came back to his hotel room, he checked with his friend, and they had already packed their bags. They weren't sure if they had done something wrong or something illegal had been passed on to him. And when they switched it on, it was Andrei Tarkovsky's film Zerkala, which is the mirror in English. And the person gave it to him specifically because he felt that when Raman was talking, he was talking in a language which for him seemed to be akin to what Tarkovsky talks about in his films. So I'm sorry, I took the limelight away.
So I think I answered you, because the moment we kept on discussing things, and the moment he brought this story, that's why I said it was a very challenging one, because initially we are showing 2 loafers trying to molest a girl or whatever, and the girl is still not defined what her character is.
That is what we all wanted to know about.
So this is the whole part, because even though the fear was there in my heart, and in the same way in that girl's heart, because of that language, the coziness, or that suddenly the boundary that came around her, the negative person became the positive to protect her. So this is what happened there with me. And there are many stories he has told me about, many stories we have read also. But the thing is that language, it's a barrier, and it's the one that, it's a bridge also. So somehow we try to present this. And the day we shot, it was a very challenging day. It was raining like anything. When we started, it stopped. When we stopped, it started again. So it's just, thank you so much.
So with that, did you get the same reaction from the audience with which you actually made it?
Honestly, whenever I see this film, I myself become the audience. So I think it's very difficult for people to understand what actually was being trying to say, because short films, they at times they go beyond the thought process. You blink and it's gone. But maybe with time or something, it will happen.
And being it such a sustainable subject, I would say. So, do you think it was commercially viable?
I'm not a commercial kind of filmmaker.
No, but in
no.
general, it.
See, it's the way cinema is evolved. Today, it's commercially on a very big platform. Because the generation of today in India, they want to see the topics, the subjects. Usually in India, the films we make, we try to define the mother, the father, the family and all this thing. If you go to the West, they take a moment and they shoot that way. The Europeans usually do that. And that's how I make films. When I was in Universal Music, that's how I used to make the music videos also. So I had this vast experience with them, the Americans also, the way they do, the Europeans also. And my storytelling and accepting the story, it is always on that process that I don't want to understand about much about the character or his or her families and background. I want to live in that moment. And this is what Mirror taught me in all the simple segments. If you see that film, it's flowing in a very different manner. And I heard his interview also, seen that he said I could edit it in 18 ways. So telling a story in 18 ways means that he has 18 moments which he can shuffle around here and there. So that is what has always attracted me. So this is, that's how I make, so my storytelling is like that.
Thank you so much. And I will just put a little short question with the actor. How did you feel playing it? Both of you.
All three actually. He also acted.
So,
All three of you, like anyone can answer.
I think as a woman in Delhi, you're anyway subject to a lot of these episodes, right? When you walk on the street and when you're just going about your daily activities. And one needs to know how to protect themselves, right? So it's also, in my opinion, this portrayal was a very strong woman. Because at the end, she says, "Ye hamare beech ki baat hai." It's between us, right? So we're going to resolve this. Because she found that comfort in the language, and that crossed a sort of a barrier for her. So it became almost like a safe haven for her. Oh yes, I can resolve this with these two men, even though there isn't any hope, but there is hope, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
So I think that playing that part it was abstract. It was sort of surreal. I think the entire process of the film was amazing. Like the two guys right next to me, well, you know, they beat me up to get like the right expression and all of that. We had moments where we cried. We had moments where we enjoyed. We laughed. We did all sorts of things together. Beers, the vodkas, they're all going around in the house. But eventually, it was about teamwork, and that's what we achieved. I think all of us together. The process was so enriching. For an actor, for an artist, for a person, for a character like that, who I think most of the women in the audience can relate to.
He's showing up in the
Yes, and that also kind of empowers the person and the actor and the woman to say that, you know what, no matter what, I know my boundaries and I know I can handle myself, and if help needs to be called, then it needs to be called. And I think the entire portrayal of the film was such that it gives you two options. You know, you can wriggle your way out, or you can stick around and resolve. So for me, it was that. And I think I toy with the idea of that on an everyday basis, you know, as somebody who's living in Delhi.
So there could be long discussions on this
Yes,
segments and portrait. So if you would like to say something.
So for me, the most difficult part was not, sorry, my throat is not good today. My most difficult part was not speaking in Russian or pronouncing, but to translate the feelings and everything that Pushkin has written. So that was the most difficult part, and I remember talking to Akshat many a times, asking him to give me the translation, asking him to give me the voice notes, to record the narration of the poem, so that I was not, how could I make such a good story it was, but the most important part of the story was the poem and all the poems that those were used. So I think as an actor, that was the most challenging part for me. And also Pushkin, I remember when I first went to Mandi House and I saw that young man's statue, I was fascinated. It's there. I know who this man is. And in those days, there was no Google or anything. So it took me, I mean, it was in 2016 I got to know about this man. And thanks to Akshat, thanks to Raman, I think I explored his poetry and I got to know so much about him. So that was the real experience for me.
Yes, thank you so much. And sir, if you would like to say something before we
Actually,
conclude
I'm the accidental actor in this film, basically. Akshat called me just for this photographic direction and all, you know. I'm a professional photographer. I retired from School of Planning and Architecture. So that is how I'm in this picture. And madam called my name Sushil. So I was just waiting for that, my second name Khandelwal. I mean, maybe some other Sushil can be here. So I enjoyed that, basically. And that was my role, to direct how to take pictures, how to take make a frame of that, out of that. So thanks to Akshat and thanks to Raman. And we are all good friends that way, right? Thank you.
I just want to make a concluding remark here. This film was made on a zero budget. It's not a shoestring budget. There was no budget. The location is my friend's. I reached out to her. We used to study in school, you know, so many decades back. And this is her farmhouse in Scenic Farms. So it just worked out. We went there for a recce and then we were, you know, convinced. But with all the challenges, it was raining in the morning before we reached, but it was looking wonderful when we shot whatever those 3.5, 4 hours that we shot this entire film, and then the editing and everything. So editing was done by a friend who is, again, you know, Harshali. So it was done at Sound Garden Studios with Rahul Harith. And everyone, so I reached out to people, and I think this is the beauty of art, that we are able to transcend from one form to the other. We are able to collaborate, and that is how life should be actually be. Rather than being focused on one part, we should all try to move from one. Why do we build these boundaries? So on that note, if anybody else has anything to say. And I want to thank the Russian Center, because at that time it was Mr. Rozovsky who was the director here, and at that time we had Arseny was the person who was, you know, kind of handling the things here, like Olga is doing it these days. And I'm not saying that they pushed us in a direction, but they gave us a sort of, when we reached out to them, when we spoke to them and shared that this is what we are trying to make, they at least put us on the right track and did not dissuade us from, you know, trying to experiment with something which was not something I had done before. He had obviously been making films and music videos and all before, but so I would like to thank Russian Center overall for helping us to create something like this. Thank you.
with that, I think we should conclude this session for this, looking at the time constant, and I would like to thank all of you here. We are all
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. I'd like to, please. Ladies first. Pooja ji, aaiye, please. Please. I think if you could do it here. Please, please, please. Sorry, sir. Please. Institutional support is very important. It is needed for, and it's the need of the hour as well. And please, Dr. Rahas Mohanty ji is the Deputy Secretary at the Lalit Kala Academy. And we are not letting you go, sir. We and ma'am, we are going to request you to please say just I'm not sure. Were you able to see the exhibition downstairs? Not yet. So maybe we'll keep those for later. For now, I would like to, just so that we have a quorum, I would like to invite all the participating artists. Varun Jay is one of the participating artists. Why don't you come on this side itself? Then Padmini Mehta. Akash, please come. Ashwini sir, if we could have you here, please. आपके भी काम वहाँ पे लगे हैं. And I saw Ritika, Shikhant, and Shraddha, Harmandeep. Ashish. All the participating artists. If, Rajneesh का है? Rajneesh भी तो था ना? Oh, yeah, there he is. So there are total of 19 artists, including Parikshit Sahni ji and Ram Niranjan ji. And that's what I was wondering. I was missing. So I mean, I'll just briefly introduce everyone so that at least you know, and then group photograph. There are certificates and everything. So I'll start with my co-curator Savita. And she's been a real help because I was traveling with Ashwini sir to Germany and Zurich while she was helping out here, and she's been a total help throughout. Also, if you go to the gallery, and I will request everybody to please do visit the, work that out, what kind of works we have put there. So she has brought a lot of her shawls and the objects that were a part of her collection and as memorabilia from Russia. So thanks. Then Ashwini Kumar Prithvivasi sir, he is the founder and founder, director and principal of Delhi College of Art. He is also my guru, and so when I switched from engineering, I did my engineering in Russia, and when I switched to art, he helped me, with that 1 year and then subsequently. Then we have Siddharth is a very young artist. This is his first exhibition. He has never been to Russia. Unlike all three of us before, Savita has been there with traveling with the artists there. Ashwini sir was in twice, I think, St. Petersburg and then Moscow last year. Siddharth and Akash both have responded. Akash is a self-taught artist. He's been doing art for some years, and you can see the kind of finesse that he has created and the kind of portraits, stylized ones that he does. Siddharth is still doing his bachelor's in fine art, and you should look at the color that he has really brought to the exhibition. And Varun Jay, again bringing a lot of color, but also bringing a lot of emotion. Like I said, the work that he has created is actually in response to when he went walking across the spaces and places where his father had studied in or been in, and then he had his interactions with Sadaji there, being at his place. So all those he was able to process them, churn inside, and then create an abstract artwork, so which you should see. Ram Niranjan ji is a senior professor from Kurukshetra University, and he's just retired. He's just retired, and when we had the exhibition opening, he was in Romania. His solo show was happening at the parliament in Romania. And on 30th, I believe he's traveling to Russia. He and his wife will be traveling there. So you can see the snow-laden villages that he has painted in watercolor. So you should definitely see that. Padmini ji has never traveled to Russia, but she has created a lot of artworks on Russia in the last 10-15 years that I have known her. And she comes with her NIFT and a textile background, and she brings it in her artworks as well. Next we have Shikhant Sablania, aka Churma. That's what his pseudonym is, and that's what his studio name is. He is basically into comics and illustrations and brand management. That's through that. But if you see his artwork there, it's from 2017 when we had traveled as 6 artists carrying 349 physical artworks of Indian artworks. Of 44 artists to the Art Russia in Nizhny Novgorod in 2017. So that's from an incident that happened there and used to happen quite a lot. Next we have Shraddha Bansal and Harmandeep Singh. They both had traveled on a trip for plein air, which happens in Russia around Moscow. So this is the Golden Circle. These are places like Alexandrov, Pokrov, Rostov, and these spaces where they went, they used to paint on site, and Shraddha uses steel thread to stitch on a canvas, and that is what she uses to make drawings. And Harmandeep has been working with gouache and similar materials. We have Ritika and Rajneesh. So I'm taking them in there because Ritika and Rajneesh had gone for a program called Russian Seasons, which Ashwini sir had also gone in last year, where they invite 16 artists from across the world. And they are given, I think, 21 days to create artwork. So there is easel painting, and then there are other engagements. So the two works, they are, unfortunately for us, they are prints, because the originals have been submitted with the organization there. They are not small works, and these are works that they have created there. There are many more artists like Binoy Behel, who has shared his photographs of Buddhist monastery in Kalmykia, Buryatia in Russia, which many people find surprising, that Buddhism in Russia. So that's what he has shared. Then Aditya Arya, who is the director of Music Camera, he unfortunately couldn't come today. He was supposed to be on stage today during the book reading also. So he traveled with the Bolshoi Theatre from 1988 to 91. And he's brought photographs of the troupe performing in Tashkent, Moscow, and St. Petersburg. And Anandmoy Banerjee, 1971-72, he was awarded the Soviet Nehru Land Award. Soviet Land Nehru Award. And he traveled in 1973 there for a month at the Arctic camp at the Black Sea. And he so fondly remembers, not just remembers that, he has photographs from that, especially with his parents on the airport, sending him away. His mother is kissing him on his cheek. Then there are photographs of him with the Russian ambassador here at the center, and also with the vice president at that time. So these are all memories, and we are all looking at Russia. The whole concept is to look at Russia and present what we as Indians perceive about it. And as Yelena ma'am suggested and shared, we had discussed about it. I'm so thankful that she has announced it as well, that the show or the idea of the show will be traveling. We don't necessarily want to take these same works to all the places. We want to look at what are the locals in those areas or in those regions, how are they responding, and there are a lot of alumni who have studied in Russia who are in those areas, and we'll reach out to them and do that. I just want to I think I've taken so much time. I think I've become mic hungry, and I have not just let it be. But I cannot not mention that today is my father's birthday and he's here. And it would just not be right if I did not mention. I wouldn't be where I am if not for him. My mother is sitting next to him, but yeah, happy birthday, Papa. I would think it is better if you speak now, sir, because...
So, of course, it's evening is almost, and everybody is thinking of to bind up this program, and also I'm going to bind up it. But I'm very happy to see all of my friends, and I'm really very much thankful for Russian Center providing a beautiful space and place for Indian artists, promotion of Indian art and culture. And Russia is being part of India, providing, and also from scientifically, technically, technologically, socially, in every sphere, culturally, we are very much related to each other. And there is no doubt, I always love Russia with two commanders' name who killed thousands of army without using any cannons and bullets. And these two commanders' name was November and December. When Napoleon Bonaparte attacked Russia, and these two commanders destroyed the entire Napoleon army. That was a very terrible retreat of Napoleon Bonaparte and defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte. So that was very fascinating to me from my childhood. So that was a beautiful story about many, poet and all. And I'm really very much thankful to again. I'm very much never to Russian Center. I'm working for a long time in Mandi House, Lalit Kala Academy. So most of the time, I think always Russian Center invited me many programs. I'm really very much thankful. And again, I'm very much thankful that Russian Center is providing very much good platform to the Indian artists from all sphere. Thank you very much.
A warm good evening to everyone. Today I feel really privileged to be part of this event because I went through everything here. I could see that this center and the activities here are resonating the same ethos like the organization which I am part of, the National Gallery of Modern Art. We as an organization also try to conduct exhibitions, conduct cultural activities to connect to the public, connect and give platform to artists to unleash their creativities. So I would like to congratulate first of all the curators for putting up this exhibition and running it so successfully. I would also like to actually compliment the organizers and the Russian House for providing all the support to actually conduct these events. As we know, the paintings and photos here, they provided an Indian view of Russia. So it's not easy to provide an Indian perspective to something which is not in the country. But such cultural activities also connect our Indian artists to the countries abroad and the culture abroad. As we know, India and Russia, they have like ties since immemorial times. But sometimes we continuously have to refresh those ties. We continuously have to connect to all the people who have, been trying to make these ties really, really important and give them platform so that they keep on existing in the current public in India. So such activities actually give boost to those ties, and people again and again remember what kind of cultural and spiritual relation we have between the countries. So I think again I would like to congratulate everyone for having such a successful exhibition. In fact, all of you would be delighted that even NGMA is planning to celebrate Rorik in a grand manner in the upcoming months, so that it can be a tribute to the artist. So all of you will be welcome to our exhibition also. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's the 150th year of Nicholas Roerich and 120th year of his son Svetoslav Roerich. Before we disperse for refreshments, I just want and break the norm. We've been gifting to the boys and giving bouquets to the women, but since our gift support is from Gauravji himself, it would be strange to gift him a gift that he has brought to us, but it would be nice if he could be, gifted with a bouquet. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you from my side, and thank you very much everyone, all the artists and everybody who's here.
ये जो रशियन सेंटर कल्चर सेंटर ने आज का आयोजन किया, वो अपने आप में बहुत महत्वपूर्ण आयोजन है। मैंने अपनी ज़िंदगी में बहुत सारे रशियन प्रोग्राम्स यहाँ इंडिया में आते हुए देखे, कुछ की मैं मैनेजर भी रही है भारत की तरफ से, मॉस्को भी ले गए हम अपना ट्रिप। लेकिन आज का प्रोग्राम आम जन के लिए बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण है, जब ये नौजवान आए हैं और एक ये नई पीढ़ी है जो रूस से जुड़ रही है, इनके सांस्कृतिक केंद्र के ज़रिए इन्होंने अच्छा किया कि एक बाकायदा आर्टिस्टों की वो रखी चित्र प्रदर्शनी, इन्होंने बाकायदा बुक रिव्यू रखा, परीक्षित साहनी का इन्होंने अपनी फिल्म रखी, टोटल मिला के बहुत, और बीच में जो वर्कशॉप्स इनकी हुई और प्ले हुए, उसे बहुत दिमाग को बहुत ग़िज़ा दी, बहुत सोचने के मैटेरियल दिया। और जो नई जनरेशन है उन्हें यहाँ आने में मज़ा आया, सूखा सूखा नहीं, सब कुछ भरा भरा, रंग भरा, रस भरा लगा। सो क्रेडिट गोज़ टू रशियन सेंटर, आशा सेना एंड सविता गुप्ता एंड ऑल अदर पीपल हु हैव बीन पार्ट ऑफ इट। लॉन्ग लिव इंडो रशियन फ्रेंडशिप।
जी से
हाँ बोलकर
साल बाद मुलाकात हो रही है
मैं तो पहले 30-35 साल। जहाँ तक बात परीक्षित की साहनी जी की, वो एक अच्छे कलाकार तो हमेशा ही सबको पता थे, लेकिन वो इनकी दूसरी किताब है, और ये जो किताब इस समय चर्चा में आई, उसने उनके नए रंग दिखाए एक लेखक के तौर पे। ज़िंदगी के उस पड़ाव पे हैं वो, जब आप पूरी परिपक्व ज़िंदगी जी चुके होते हैं, सांझ की ओर जा रहे हैं, उस सांझ में सूरज सा फिर खिल करके आना एक बहुत बड़ा कॉम्प्लीमेंट है। बहुत ईमानदार किताब है, अपने ज़िंदगी के संस्मरण, अपनी ज़िंदगी के एनकाउंटर्स, मुठभेड़ें, जिसको उन्होंने शानदार नाम दिया एनकाउंटर्स। तो ये हुआ अपने आप का अपने आप की मुठभेड़ें जिनको आप कन्फेस करते हैं, स्वीकार करते हैं और फिर लोगों के साथ भागीदार बना के शेयर करते हैं। उसके लिए ईमानदारी चाहिए, कलम की सच्चाई चाहिए, एक पवित्र भाव चाहिए। एक उनकी जो फिल्म थी पवित्र पापी, अगर कुछ थोड़े बहुत पाप उन्होंने किए जैसे गाले वाले के साथ, जो मैंने पढ़ी हुई कहानी, तो अब मैं कह सकती हूँ कि परीक्षित पवित्र पापी है। जो उसको एक फिल्म का जो टाइटल वो उसकी ज़िंदगी का टाइटल हो गया। पाप करो, एक पवित्रता से याद भी करो कि मैंने पाप किया और मैं ये कहता हूँ कि ये गलत हुआ। इसको कहने के लिए देवत्व चाहिए, आपको ऊंचा उठना पड़ता है ना। Thank you.
On behalf of the Russian Cultural Center, I would like to say a great thank you to Mr. Akshat to organize such event. We had for 1 month here a lot of different programs, and today, as we are finishing this event, we had the launch of the book, and it really was very honest and really touchable book. And this presentation also, because when you write by your heart, it's always touch hearts by other people. It's very important. And of course, today we had also the screening of the film Nadezhda. I'm really proud that the inspiration for this film Mr. Akshat took also from the Russian Cultural Center. And I'm sure that we will support this film to go further, even to be screened in Russia. Because Alexander Pushkin is the immoral and eternal item for all Russians. As we say in Russian, Pushkin это наше все. And when we met such love for Pushkin from Indian side, it's very important for us, and we will support this initiative for sure.
हाय, मेरा नाम सविता है और इस तरह से हमने ये रशियन एंड इंडियन व्यू एग्जीबिशन यहाँ पर लगाई है रशियन सेंटर में। उसके लिए रशियन सेंटर का बहुत हम ग्रेटिट्यूड है उसके लिए, और रशियन एम्बेसी के सपोर्ट के लिए, और सबसे ज़्यादा इसमें भाग लेने वाले सभी आर्टिस्ट लोगों का, क्योंकि हमारा जो कॉन्सेप्ट था वो तभी एक इट हैज़ कम टू अ रिज़ल्ट कि जब उन्होंने पार्टिसिपेट किया एंड वी कुड गेट द वर्क्स डिपिक्टिंग आवर आइडिया एंड मटीरियलाइजिंग आवर आइडिया सो वेल।